Cheers to our friendship. He didn't think he'd gain a friend so soon in Japan. Chris felt a warmth in his heart, but life is short. He still has to continue his journey. After checking out, he hurried to the city where my life. Not far from his destination, he rented a room for now. After packing his bags, he arrived at a nearby flower shop. He wanted to buy some pink roses. SML. Medium. When Chris found the place My Life, it was already quite late. He stood on the ground floor. He read each door number as he went down. Finally, he found Mimi Takahashi's name on the last line. Though he longed to see Mimi right away, but he glanced at his watch. Reluctantly, he turned and left. Somehow, it was already the next morning.
Dad, did you find your friend?
Are you not back yet? I'm quite worried about you.
Chris was worried about missing his daughter's birthday. He held a pink rose in one hand. He arrived at the building once more. He happily greeted the building's residents. Good morning. Chris nervously pressed the intercom button, but no one responded. He sadly sat on the bench opposite the building until the resident he had greeted earlier came into view again. He eagerly approached to ask, "Do you know Mimi?" "I know her." The woman took out her phone. She took a picture of Chris, then she went upstairs. Chris had no choice but to return to the bench and wait. Time seemed to slow down immensely, but when he saw the woman again, he got up right away and followed.
Mike got sick.
She caught the coroner officer, but she was back from the hospital yesterday. He went up to the 4th floor. Mai said she couldn't be disturbed and told Chris to go to the 7th floor alone. The place with the chair at the door is Mai's room. Thank you. Chris climbed up breathlessly, unsure which floor he was on. When he saw a chair, he sat down. He thought to rest a bit before climbing more, but he was stunned by what he saw. It's something he can't forget. The familiar figure reflected in the glass. Chris quickly took off his mask. "Mai, are you about to rest? If you want, I can come another day."
I brought some flowers.
I thought they might need some water. Seeing Mai silent, Chris slowly approached the half-open door. He was no longer the Chris who hid from everything. His love for Mike gave him the courage he needed. "Chris,
Mine.
forgive me."
No need to apologize. I'm sorry.
After 51 years, they meet again. But both have turned gray, yet that distant lonely cold in this moment melts with embraces and tears. Chris brewed some hot tea, caring for weak Mai, just healed.
Oh, you're still here. I'm not going anywhere.
Felt a little better. She once went to Iceland to reclaim her love, but Chris is now married. You must hate me.
Never.
Mai opened the window and began to answer the questions Chris pondered through countless nights.
I'm not married. Have you heard of atomic bomb survivors?
Though they survived the atomic bomb explosion, but faced bias, so her father moved them to London, England. Yet 11-year-old Mai couldn't understand her father's harshness. You're a bomb victim too. If you had a child like that, you can't care for it. But Mai didn't trust that. In college, she secretly fell in love. Her dad was angry when he knew. He informed Mai's boyfriend about the atomic bomb survivors. Her boyfriend had to break up with her. For some time, Mai struggled to get over the breakup until she fell in love with Chris. She vowed this time she would convince her father. After some delays, her father softened and reached a compromise with her. But as the price of dating, Mai had to agree to the sterilization terms. Sterilization? That was my only idea. Her father took Mai to a secluded private clinic. But no one expected. The surgery had to be cancelled.
I wanted to tell you about the pregnancy, but I lost my courage.
Her dad liked Chris a lot, but he feared the baby might be disabled. Mai was scared then, so her father closed the restaurant, paid the employees' salaries, and booked a flight back to Japan. Because her deceased mother was buried there. Soon after, Mai gave birth to the child. Fortunately, the child was very healthy. Megumi discreetly signed an adoption agreement. Shaking her head, she didn't want her child to face discrimination. That's when she truly understood her father's harshness. Your son's name is Lucky. Because we were lucky, Lucky left his mother's embrace shortly after birth. His dad is from Australia, his mom is Japanese. He has now also become a chef. No way. Precisely. Lucky now runs a restaurant on a riverboat. Megumi visits each week to dine there. In truth, she just wants to see if her son is doing well. Does he know about you?
No, he will never know. He has 2 daughters. No way. Yes.
Like his elder daughter is an engineer, his youngest is in college for history. All doubts were resolved. Chris' journey seems to have come to an end, but before he can go back for his daughter's birthday. But this time, Megumi accompanies him. 51 years apart, two pairs of old hands reach for the place. Forgotten memories crashed into Chris' mind like waves higher than mountains, leaving his heart restless for a long time. As night fell, they unknowingly arrived by the canal. They spotted that boat. However, Chris paused at the entrance. He gripped the lamppost, furrowing his brow. For the first time in years, he felt fear. Yet he had to face it, for this might be his last journey of life. So he followed Mai into the restaurant. They found a quiet spot. Mai habitually sat down, but Chris didn't dare look at the kitchen on the left. Ms. Mai, thank you for your continued patronage.
This friend is Chris Hansen from Iceland.
Mr. Chris, welcome to you. Sir, are you okay? I'm fine. Seeing that Mr. Chris was fine, the boss smiled and put on his hat to get to work. Moments later, he came back worried to ask again. Back to the kitchen to cook again. Look at him, he looks just like you. Dinner that evening was exceptionally good. Better than all the new dishes Chris had made before. After dinner, Chris felt delighted. He walked by the quiet river with Mai. Before they parted ways, Mai wanted to hear him sing that song once more. However, Chris still didn't know, because this song, Mai left him then. Reflecting on those past days,
It's very precious to me.
Chris seemed to have forgotten the rest of the lyrics, but he hummed the melody and finished the song.